He's not a senior salesman. Oh.
Oh, well, hello.
What?
Guess what?
Oh.
No theme music tonight. Evidently, it's broken. Hi. Real Time with Tracy and John. We got a little feedback, so bear with us here. I'm John. That's Tracy. And that's our special guest star, Frank Cicino.
Jonathan.
How are you?
Who's Jonathan?
Jonathan Harris.
I don't hear
From
anything
Lost in
in
Space.
I hear nothing in here.
What? We're figuring it out.
Okay.
So how's everybody tonight? What is up? What is new? I mean, we've got all kinds of things going on.
Oh, yeah?
Here's 3 words for you. 3 letters for you. Ready? FBI.
FBI what?
Who are they?
The guys on Channel 2 at I think 9 o'clock on Tuesdays. Yeah. No, the FBI. Come on.
What about the FBI?
What do you mean? What about the FBI?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I told one of your friends, I don't know his name.
Oh boy.
That we would refrain from anything that was controversial.
I didn't say that. So FBI.
Political.
All kinds of FBI.
You got it.
Did they
You're
wrap it up?
You're gonna get hosed on that deal.
Yeah. Did they wrap it up today? Because they said
Not yet.
We may be wrapping it up on Wednesday. Here's the thing.
I can't hear. Can I now?
I can hear you.
I think I can. Can you hear me?
Hot mic.
I think I
hot
can.
Mic.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Sounds great. I don't know. Yeah. Sounds good.
All kinds of stuff going on with all that business, and with Judge Kavanaugh, with Christine Ballsy Ford, whatever her name is.
No.
So yeah,
No.
that's
No.
we figure it out. Yeah, Christine Ballsy Ford.
John, you're already going there?
Right. What do you mean?
Relax.
About
relax.
what?
It's
No, I'm
the
just
first
saying.
5 minutes.
John.
It's Christine Ballsy
John.
Ford. Isn't it? What?
John.
What?
Not so.
And the Cubs lost last night.
There we go.
How is this? I
There we
heard that
go.
Christine
Listen.
Ballsy Ford's a Cubs fan.
Noah.
Loser. No, not Noah. Noah.
Too
Christine
bad
Ballsy.
that picture you posted on Facebook wasn't really her. Do your checking
Are you
before
sure?
you do. Yeah, it wasn't her. They
Just,
actually have pictures
just
of
so
her.
we're clear
It's
about
the
the
wrong
Cubs.
picture.
Yeah.
Baseball season ends on Labor Day.
Is that right?
Yeah. Does anybody watch baseball after Labor Day?
Yeah, but wasn't the Cubs
No.
going for that spot? Isn't there there was
I don't know. I stopped watching on Labor Day.
Yeah, there's the wild card spots. There's like 3 spots or something.
Well,
right?
they got the wild. They got in.
But you have to like clinch. It's like best of one game or best of you have to clinch that to go forward.
They had to win last night against the Colorado Rockies. to
Right, and I
advance.
actually wanted the
Yeah.
Cubs to win over the Rockies, so I guess there's my answer.
They did not in 13 innings. So a bit of a ballsy Christine move. What?
God,
What?
John,
What?
John.
Not a fan.
No shit.
What? I had to clear my throat.
What?
What's up? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's
should be.
good.
Yeah,
Everything's
we
good.
should be in good shape.
We're good.
So we got all that going. Yeah, you're right. I mean, my Jamie's a Cubs fan, and it was clearly up till yesterday. Baseball season's not over. Yes, it is. Especially.
Well, it's not over for my team, the Boston Red Sox.
What'd you say about Labor Day?
Yeah.
Even if my team was going to the World Series, I stopped watching in September. I just have no desire to watch
So
baseball.
that just made no sense what you just said, because you said even if my team was going to the World Series, I would stop watching in September. Well, isn't the point of watching it beyond September is if your team makes it to the World Series? I can understand.
Because once Labor Day gets here, it's all about football. I don't need baseball anymore.
Oh, so you don't even. So you are a fair weather fan. You're not a real baseball
sport in the
fan.
world.
It is not the most
Have you
boring.
ever been to a 9-inning baseball
I've
game?
been to a
After 3 innings,
13-inning
I don't know
game.
what to do with
I had
myself.
season tickets,
Yeah.
so I
How did that
know.
work out? How many did you sell?
I didn't sell any.
Well, that's horrible.
There weren't season tickets for me. My company had season
Right.
tickets,
Did you
so
go to
I
every
got.
game?
No, because we had to split them up. We had to divvy them up between
Thank
us.
God.
It's like watching.
I've
paint
been to
dry.
long inning
You ain't
games.
kidding. After 3 innings, I'm like, all right, what's next?
I have to say, really, I actually remember going opening day, and for some reason that particular day it was freezing cold. It just happened to be. Sometimes you know how sometimes that falls, sometimes it's really cold. It happened to be freezing cold opening day at Fenway, and I had to go get a blanket They were giving
Is
away
that right?
blankets.
Oh.
And you had to fill out a thing that you wanted a credit card. I didn't want a credit card, but I just wanted a blanket.
You had the
So I fill out the thing to get the credit card, and then I was like, okay, can I get the blanket? Yeah, here's the blanket.
There you
and I was
go.
like, great, I don't want the credit card. I just
When
want
was
the
it? Like
blanket.
in April or like October? or
Opening day,
something?
whatever opening day
Yeah,
was,
it's
it was April, but it happened to be a
First
really
week.
cold day. It just was like, it just freak, and it was like winter. I was like, well, this is really not
Rob
Rob
Winter.
Winter, not
Oh.
Rob Winter, but it was like it was so cold
How
that
cold was it?
it was so cold.
That all the squirrels were hanging around wearing flannel on their nuts.
They were
What?
they were hanging,
Keep
yes.
their nuts warm.
But yeah, it was uncomfortable. So yeah, but I understand. Yes, I've been to very long games, and it can be boring. But I actually would rather go to baseball than a football game. Football I like on TV. Football I like on TV.
I'm okay either way with football. I
'cause
think I
football-
like it better on TV.
Yeah.
I get distracted when I'm at the game because I'm not watching what everybody else is watching.
What are
know,
you
what are you
watching?
watching?
The cheerleaders.
So I'll give you an example. Quarterback drops back, throws a nice 40-yard bomb down the sideline. Receiver catches it. I don't see it. I'm too busy watching the guy who just cleaned someone's clock on a blindside
Right.
crackback.
Yep.
You know.
So
I'm
you're not
all
watching the quarterback.
internals
You're
of
not
what's
watching the
actually going
quarterback.
on.
You're not watching the receivers. You're watching defense.
You always miss at the end when they call a penalty for fighting. You missed how it started.
Yeah, because you're watching.
I
you're
never miss it.
Right, I understand that. I get it. Yeah, sure.
So I just
Well,
get stuck
the best,
in the
the
internals
best
of, you know,
game to watch live
Hockey.
is hockey.
100%.
Amazing. That's my number one.
BRB.
Trying to pee or something?
We got computer mo issues.
All right, go do what you gotta do.
All right. I guess it's just you
Whatever.
and me for now.
Just you.
What would you
and
like to talk about while
me.
John's over there?
Not politics.
Yeah,
Jesus, he's on a rampage.
he came in fired up.
No, he came in all fired up. I get it. It's just not enough. Just ridiculous. It's just so dumb. It's just stupid. Oh, he's back.
John's back.
So yeah, we're trying to.
What's going on? Everything all right?
The Facebook feed, it's fine. It's on. It's on. So we'll have to. It's on on the friends setting. So we'll have to rejig it. Send a link. Afterwards, and we'll put it on
The
all
friends
pages.
setting?
Yeah, not the not the
The Friends
public.
the show?
Yeah, what the
Like
friends,
Ross and Rachel?
Yes.
I'll be
Oh,
there for you.
yeah. It's one of my favorite show of all time.
Yeah,
love that show.
hockey is good in person.
Hockey in person is
100%.
the
I'd rather watch.
Love it.
I'd rather watch a car rushed than to see it on TV. I gotta say.
Yeah, just hockey in general in person.
I
is
like
the best.
hockey
The best.
the best.
Oh,
Either there live or at home.
I love it both.
Gotta
too.
really
Yeah.
be in the mood to watch it on TV.
I always go and sit behind the net because I like when they crash into the board, and it's like I feel like they're gonna crash into me,
Yeah.
and like shrapnel will fly in my face. I love it. So exciting. And then when they fight and they're checking each other, you see all their sweat, and you see like you hear the noise, and it's so aggressive and
You got that heinous face.
amazing.
Kind of like Christine Ballsy Ford. That heinous face. What? I'm just saying.
John,
What?
John,
What?
we are politic
can we
free.
at least ease into it?
No. It's the deep end. Welcome to the REALTOWN deep end. Oh yeah, in the back of the
We're
bus.
politics free.
Who
on
said
this-
that?
I'm
It sounds like
deciding
she
it right
made
now.
A
No.
side deal and didn't tell us about
I
it.
did. I made a
Exactly.
side deal. Politics
Nah,
free.
You can't do that.
We have to be.
No, you don't have to. This isn't Russia. Is this Russia?
No,
This isn't Russia.
I'm not
you-
censoring you.
Do
I'm
you
not
wanna just do it
censoring
and
you.
Get it over with and get it out of John's system.
No, I'm done
I
because I'm
don't.
gonna get the skunk guy or whatever.
No, listen.
Whoa.
Whoa,
We
easy.
had all kinds of
Gently.
problems today.
What is going on?
Tracy's wrecking your equipment.
No, it isn't me. How do you tighten this thing?
Ah, gravity. Oh, lousy gravity. Oh.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
So let's talk politics, John. How'd you think it went, John?
I to be determined. I mean, that whole thing last week, just nothing but a goat rodeo. Nothing but a goat rodeo. One side and or the other. I'm just
We're
like,
talking
you know
about
what? Enough. Let's just get on.
Is he talking about politics?
Absolutely.
Too much. It's too much politics.
Too much. That's enough.
Just
enough. Let's get on with it.
Just do what needs to be done, and that's it.
And there you have it. You know.
I don't need.
Though I do have to
I don't
say,
need the three-ring circus.
The imitation of Kavanaugh by Matt Damon was pretty funny. I'll just say that.
Where was that?
Where would you see that at?
On Saturday Night Live. It was very good.
Yeah, I was too busy not watching and sleeping.
Well, the Saturday Night Live hasn't been good. I admit to that, but
I tell you what,
that was very good.
I tuned in for the first little bit. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. You know, and that's horrible because I used to always stay up and watch.
Well, it hasn't been really good over the past few seasons. I mean, that's a given. I mean, but occasionally there'll be one gem, like they'll have all crap and one good sketch.
Chick in a box.
So what I did? Well, that's so old. But I'm saying like what I'll do is I'll look at the highlights, on social media, and then I'll, but I won't sit through the show anymore like I used to. That's gone. Those days are gone.
I agree.
Over. But yeah, he did a very good imitation. I gotta say, it is what it is.
And that's funny. I mean,
it's funny. It is fun. It's funny.
And
because he is. I mean, Kavanaugh. Everything that's going on aside, he's a little bit of a character. I mean, if you met him on I mean, he's a little bit. He was a little erratic, a little emotional.
Well, I would be too.
Well, it's when you see a man be like that, it's a little different.
It is what it is. I mean,
I would have been the same way.
I put it on my sleeve. I mean, if someone's jumping on me for something that I completely and totally, rightly or wrongly, but completely and totally am 180 degrees against, I'm getting angry.
Well, sure.
I'm getting emotional.
Sure, because they're threatening his future.
Look at it this way. If you were treated like that when you went on a job interview, would you have walked out?
If I was treated like
the way he was.
I see. No, I see what you're saying.
If you're on a job interview,
well,
would
he's
you
not on a
have
job
walked out
interview
at that point?
But he's not on a job interview.
He
is
is.
Kind of is with that.
That's what it is.
Well,
it's a job interview. It's not a trial.
Well, but that job interview he would have already had the job if that hadn't happened. It would have already.
And
it would
if
have
my
passed.
aunt
It would
had
have
nuts,
went through.
she'd be my uncle. That did happen. I mean,
see,
it's,
this is take it from me, the liberal Democrat on this side, and I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this, and you might like this response.
Okay.
I'm not slamming any woman, and like I said, I said this last week. Anything's happened to any woman, I don't think she's a liar. This is what I think, and I'm going to tell you what I think. I think they were in college, drunk, high, acting like college people.
High school.
High school. I thought it was high school and college. Wasn't it both?
No,
Then there's another one that was college.
Yeah,
then.
with her it was high school.
Okay, there's another one that was college.
Supposedly,
Okay, I only read the college story. I don't know why. I read that
heard.
today, so it was
Right.
But this is my point. When I was in remember we talked about this, and you're like, "What kind of high school did you go to?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Someone hit my head." Remember I said that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go after the guy that hit me on the ass in high school. I wouldn't go if he was running for. I wouldn't go after that guy. So and I'm the I'm the Democrat, right?
Right.
If a guy who hit on me in college or high school, and I'm not talking about rape because that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about inappropriateness, couple pushiness, a little bit of wanting to have sex with, that kind of stuff. If a man did that to me in high school, college, would I 30 years later, if he was running for some supreme judge or office or anything like that, would I take him down? I wouldn't. Would I possibly tell all my friends about it? Possibly. I might do that. But I wouldn't go so far as to try to remove him, because the man you are in high school and the man you are possibly in college may not be the man you are 30 years later. Many men go through that I'm a perv stage, because I met a lot of them. Many of them go through that I'm a perv stage. And we're talking about like late 80s, early 90s. Like in those times, it was a lot more acceptable to be touchy-feely than it is right now.
Go back 10 more years, really, because this is like
I thought it was 80s.
No, early 80s.
Early 80s?
82.
Early 80s.
And
So
I
I remember the early 80s, and I remember the way boys were with me, and they're pretty much the same way that he was with her.
Of course.
So I don't think she's lying. I just think she's recalling something that happened that means something more now than it would have then. Now, if he, like I said, if he raped her, or if stuff like that, that would be, or if he beat her,
no, that's not good.
I think,
but I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think what we were like back then is very different than what we are now.
for sure.
I think that there's something. I think I'm almost right there. I'm almost 100% right there.
Right.
I think that there was something did happen.
Yeah.
And whether it was real, perceived,
And it may
or a
be
combination
exaggerated.
of both.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But here,
possibly.
What I'm finding I have a little bit of difficulty with now is that, well, we don't know where. We don't know exactly where. We don't know exactly when. We don't know
Right.
exactly maybe with who. It kind of maybe probably sort of possibly did maybe kind of happen.
I'll tell you, traumatic
What?
memories stay with you.
Well, and that's
Traumatic
my whole
memories
point.
stay with you. And I have my memory. I have a very good memory, and I can remember a lot about things that happened in the
Well,
80s.
we touched about
And I was
touched on
young.
some things. I mean,
I
you
can
know,
remember
no
stuff.
No need to re-review.
Oh,
but
not
I mean,
not
and
that. I'm
but
talking about
regardless,
anything else.
things. Period.
Right.
Okay, been there, done that. I was earning fraternity back in the early to mid '80s, from '82 to '86. So I get it. I saw it. I saw people do things. I was on the cusp because I was a guy back then. I think something may have happened. Should or could have happened rather, but you know what? I think there's
He
too many-
probably was a pig, like they are in those days, and now he's paying the price for being a pig when he was a young guy, and that's it.
Speaking as a guy who's basically the
You're
same,
kind of a pig, probably too. I'm
well,
sure in those
again,
days.
Speaking as a
Who-
guy
who wasn't
who's about
at that age?
the same, who's almost identically the same age as this guy. Okay, when in high school, when you turn 17 in New Jersey, you get your freedom on because you got wheels now, whether it's mom and dad's wheels or your own car. So all of a sudden, woohoo, you are out and about. Okay, with whomever doing whatever. Then, if you go off to college back then or whenever, all of a sudden now you are out of there. You're 17, 18 years old, and it's whee-hoo, you were a kid in the candy store. And all of a sudden, you're kind of comporting yourself in a way that maybe you wouldn't have a year or two earlier, and then a few years after, you're like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Sure.
So it was what it was, and it's just such. It's just such a big convoluted mess. That's my bottom line whole problem with it all. You know what? Enough. Really, we really have to get the Federal Bureau of Investigation involved in this? Don't they have better things to do?
No, but listen, that's their job.
Okay.
I get that. Do your due diligence. Let them check whatever. I have a couple issues with this. One, there's no doubt that I think she was raped. I just don't think it was him.
Whoa.
I think that
Left field.
she has no corroborating evidence at all.
That's the
Everybody
problem.
that she said was there all say they weren't there and have no idea what she was talking about.
No, but who's the other guy? Who's the other guy who raped her?
Don't
Who
know.
knows if it was
Oh,
it?
okay.
It
I
could've
thought you
been-
knew. I thought
No,
you
I'm
knew
saying it
something
could've
we didn't
been-
know. Okay,
No,
okay,
I'm
okay,
saying
okay.
It could have been a
Oh,
year later, 2 years later, in
oh,
college, whatever.
Okay,
Could have been
I'm-
Billy
She was
Bob Both
definitely
from around
raped
the
at
way.
some point.
Oh.
Something happened to her, but who I think is the big question.
Exactly right.
The details are the question. Yes, something
When-
most likely happened.
When you say my
Details.
best friend can confirm, but she may not remember because of her health issues, and then the best friend says, "I have no idea what she's talking about."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
troubling to me. Or when she
No,
tells
I
everybody,
agree.
"I couldn't fly here from California because I'm afraid to fly," and then 5 questions later she says, "Oh, you were in Delaware. How did you get to Delaware?" "Oh, I flew." "Oh, and you were in New Hampshire for a meeting. How'd you get to New Hampshire?" "I flew." "Oh, you went to Fiji on vacation. How'd you get there?" "I flew." Well, how are you afraid to fly if you flew for 9 hours to Fiji?
Right. Right.
There's holes.
Oh, there's
That's all
holes.
I'm
Oh,
saying.
I agree.
If you got all these holes,
I
then how
agree.
can I believe anything you say? Because if they're saying about him, once you're
He was
a
probably at
liar,
the party
he knows
drunk.
when you're not lying.
right.
Well, guess what?
Right.
She might have been raped, but because she told lies on other subjects,
Right. It'll never be
It's never gonna be
corroborated.
what
It'll
it
never.
is.
Right. I understand that. No, it's bizarre. The whole thing is just bizarre.
The whole bottom of the bottom to me
But-
is exactly that. There's just too much weirdness, bizarreness, openness.
Yeah.
Nothing seems watertight.
Right.
And
Today they had the FBI had the letter from her ex-boyfriend saying that she knows how to beat a lie detector test and showed her patients how to do it when she
Oh, shut up!
blatantly
I
said
didn't
in-
see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see
came
that
out,
yet.
They came out this
Ooh,
afternoon
I didn't see that
from
one.
the FBI, from their investigation.
I read my news at night.
Yeah.
Didn't read that one.
Well, I watched it all day long. I saw the whole
Yeah.
thing. So,
yeah.
I know.
it's entertainment. I got popcorn.
Well,
and
there is
everything.
that. I mean,
Dude, you should be. You should
This
be
is like the
doing
OJ
that.
trial,
Yeah,
You know
which
they
is
did it.
which is the anniversary is today that OJ was
That's correct.
was found innocent today.
Oh,
was the
Jay, would you like to be
anniversary.
found innocent? I would love to.
Today.
I
didn't do it.
It's funny you
Well,
say
mate,
that because
Look out!
Look out.
I texted my
We got a
buddy
problem
that's over in when we were talking about in
Yeah.
Kuwait last week,
Yeah.
and he just got back on Sunday or Monday, and I texted him and I said, I was watching this, and it reminded me of the Ollie North trials.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness,
God!
yeah,
I
And
forgot
me
about
and him
Oliver North.
And his
right.
dad watched the Ollie North trials
Yeah.
Wow.
right after our senior year
I
in high
remember
school,
Oliver North.
before we both went into the military.
Holy 1989,
So we were like,
Batman.
we were
Yeah.
all in it,
Yeah, buddy.
And it was just like, wow,
Yeah.
like crazy.
I mean, any time that to me that there's some sort of something like this, I mean, it just gets so convoluted, and now more than ever, because we've talked about this before. There was a point, even back in the Ollie North days, we were still to the point where, whomever, whether it was North or Reagan or whomever, back through the years, you always had about a 24-hour time buffer to gather your thoughts
Right.
and get the reply out. Now, if you've got 24 seconds, you
Right.
got a lot.
That's right.
But the thing about it too is that controversy surrounding people in power has always been there.
Oh, please.
And we talk about that going back to what was the one we were talking? We just talked Gary Hart.
Yeah.
And there was no internet back then or
Nope.
anything like that. But there was a picture,
Still
a
bubble
photo.
gum.
That's all,
Right.
and that was it. That was the end of it. There's always been scandals.
You see that.
So it's not like this is new.
Hugh
Right.
Jackman's going
Right.
to play Gary Hart in the movie about all that.
Shut up.
Hugh Jackman, really?
Hugh Jackman is going to be Gary
That doesn't
Hart.
seem like a Hugh
Shut up,
Jackman
really?
role.
Yep, saw the preview on Friday night.
Wolverine?
Yep.
It doesn't. I don't
I'm
like
gonna
that.
watch that. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
He looks
He's
a
gonna
little.
have to clean himself up, and then that's not
Well,
Hugh
of
Jackman.
course.
No, he cleans himself up pretty good if
He
he's not playing
does, but it
Wolverine.
just-
Didn't you see The
All
Greatest
right,
Showman?
take it
He was
easy.
quite cleaned up.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it just doesn't fit him.
I know it's a little weird.
No, I know.
But yeah, there's always been controversy. People love to bring down. They like to see someone fall, but they also like to see some people redeem themselves.
Tiger Woods.
So Tiger Woods,
Tiger Woods,
my main
exactly.
man. And you know what? That's what happens. Is like so now, especially we're in this really weird environment now where everybody's looking to take someone down,
I don't like it.
and it's
I
all
don't
over the
like it.
place.
I don't like
And
it.
and mind you, and this is in defense because someone, I did watch Trump's speech today about men should watch out, men are in trouble, and but there is one of the from the Me Too movement, there was a woman who was exposed to have been having sex with a younger boy.
Oh.
And that didn't get as much attention, but they were paying. It was Andrew Bourdain's girlfriend
Yeah.
was paying off a young boy she had sex with when he was a minor,
Oh.
and that all blew up and came out. So occasionally things are coming out no matter what. I mean,
Right.
this is it. Things are coming out. What you did, where you went, men or woman.
Right.
That's
Right.
my point. It's
Exactly.
all coming out. It's not
Listen,
just.
I went back and read my yearbook just in case there was something. in there.
No,
You gotta
no.
take a look.
You
You,
know,
gotta take a
I
look. There might
was-
be something in there.
You know what? I got
There
Next
might
asked.
be
time I go
something
for a
in there.
job interview, they might want to see my yearbook.
Yeah.
I got asked this question about 22, 23 years ago. Would you rather be rich and famous or just rich? And back then, my first initial reaction was, I'd love to be rich and famous.
No, it's just rich.
And then this was my boss out in Williamsport, who's a friend of mine. His name is Dan Farr. And Dan said to me, "Are you sure?" I said, "Well, then with that, I'm like, I guess so. What do you mean? Am I sure?" He goes, "Think about it. If you're rich and famous, yeah, you've got, and good for you. But you know what? You're going to be put under the microscope day after day after day." And I'm like,
Yep.
"Oh,
Yeah. And who wants
can I
that?
change my answer, please?"
Yeah, who wants that? Nobody wants that.
I just rather, if I have the ability and the wherewithal and the mechanism too, I don't need to be famous anymore. Again, here and even on the old program with Kurt and the other guys, we talked about, and I even think I mentioned it. You know what? There was a time up to very recently in the big scheme of things, and I'm like, you know what? This
You wanted
this thing at 1600 President Pennsylvania Avenue. I could do that. I could get stuff turned around in a reasonable period of time. Not just me, because and very limited to me, to be honest with you. But surrounding myself with people who know how to do. But you know what? I went back to the thing that the president, the guy, the person, whomever is now they're under the electron microscope. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And you know what? I don't need that. I don't want it.
No.
I just in my life there's things that I can put up with, have to put up with, will put up with.
You would
but
have
that
to
ain't one of
be
them.
squeaky clean.
Oh.
Never touched anyone,
Nope.
never talked bad to anybody, never
No.
swore at anybody, never
No.
did anything in your whole life.
I can't
'Cause
tell you I'm
guess
that guy.
what? They'll dig it up.
Of course
They'll
they will.
dig it up.
This
One
totally goes
thing.
back to earlier when Tracy said about
Susan Ballsy Ford. What?
No, go
What?
ahead.
no. What,
I
now I lost my train of
I'm
thought.
sorry.
When we were talking earlier, and so you're saying how when we were kids, when you were younger, I should say,
Yeah.
you wanted to
Kids.
be rich and famous, right?
Of course.
So this is going back to when we were saying how in high school or college you weren't the same person you are.
Correct.
now,
Absolutely right.
So in high school or college, I would have told you, hey, I want to be rich and famous.
Of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Now, I don't even want to be rich. Never mind the famous. I don't even want to be rich. I want enough money
To be comfortable.
To be comfortable and be able to do the things I want to do without killing myself
Right.
every day.
Right.
Right?
Well, that's what I mean by
I'm okay
rich.
with that. Like,
Okay.
I don't need to make $500,000 a year.
I
can
think
live
of-
off
I
of
do.
$100,000 and
would-
be happy.
wouldn't
I
mind
do.
with- I think of as corny and as it might sound. I think of the end of It's a Wonderful Life when Harry Bailey comes in through the snowstorm and there's George and everybody giving him money to help pay off that debt because Potter's an asswipe.
Right.
And Harry raises a glass and says, "Here's to the richest man in town, George Bailey." George Bailey doesn't hardly have two nickels to rub together, so to speak. But
Right.
you know what? No man is a failure who has friends. Okay, that's being wealthy to me. Yes, I agree. I want to have enough to be able to do and go and enjoy. But I wouldn't mind making $500,000 a year either. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's.
If you said to me today,
I don't need
John,
the spotlight. I don't need the spotlight.
Frank, I'm going to give you $100,000 a year on January 1st every year.
Right.
You don't have any more bills. They're all gone. Your house is paid for.
I'm
whatever.
done.
Here's $100,000 on January 1st every year. I'm
good. Oh, please.
I am good. I
Yeah.
don't need
Nope.
I don't need to drive a Lamborghini.
Nope.
If I want, I'll rent one for the day. I don't want one. I wanted all that stuff when I was a kid. I wanted a big 150-foot yacht, and who doesn't, right?
The vehicle
Now
I
it's
have
like-
outside
problem
here,
is- the
it's
problem
19
is,
years
though-
old. It's 19 years old, okay? I don't care.
$100,000 a year makes you get nothing. I mean, it's not. It's really
If
nothing.
you don't have any bills,
It's you mean
I'm
like
saying I have no bills.
no bills and your house is paid.
100,000
Everything's
a
paid
year.
for.
Boom.
Oh,
Right.
okay, all right. I thought you were saying like 100,000 a year. I'm like, dude,
All
I
bills
made
are paid
100,000
for.
a
You give
year.
me
It's
100
not as
grand,
much as you think
I
it
can
is.
live off of that for the
Oh,
year,
okay. I thought you meant
right?
to
I
pay.
can go on
Okay, got it.
vacation.
Even
a
in my
nice
current
vacation.
Right.
situation, bills and what, okay? I could still make that work, trust me.
Of course.
And be just fine, thank you. Now, again, you get these people who say, well, at some point you've made enough. Really? Who are you to tell me at some point I've made enough? I'm gonna get mine without raising my middle finger about it. By the way, this is not a screw you, I got mine thing. This is, you know what I'm doing for me and my people, whoever my people are, my friends, my family, people who I like, love, care about, and associate with. I'm doing so I have that ability and wherewithal if and when I want to say, sorry, Frank, I understand you had a thing here and it's difficult for you. You know what? Here, let me peel off X amount. Take care of it. I don't need it back.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? That is 180 degrees in diametric opposition to what you just mentioned about everybody being so eager to take somebody down. No, don't do that. Don't do that. What was I just? Okay, it's a show, but the character resonates with a lot of people, I'm sure. The NCIS, the original with Mark Harmon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's still on.
Yeah.
Still on.
The guy played Fez in the '70s show, Wilmer Valderrama. He is
Right.
he's now in it as one of the agents, at the special agents for NCIS. And long story short, his whole thing last night was, why can't people just be nice to others? I mean, stuff happens. This is going back to Cain and Abel, where bad things happen. But you know what? Why? And that's a good question. I don't think there's an answer per se, and that's a shame.
Everybody's angry. Everybody's
Stop with
and there's
the
just
angry.
so much anger.
I mean,
and
it's-
so much. Everyone's so pissy.
Here's
you
the
see it
thing.
on Facebook. People are
Oh,
so mad.
Horrible. Here's the thing. It's okay to
if
get
you
angry.
do something good,
okay.
somebody's pissed off.
It's
about
going
it.
to knock it down.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing.
For
you
no
want
reason.
you want to get angry, and then guess what? Get done with it. Like, that.
Don't even get angry.
Well, but it's
Why
not just-
can't I say, "Oh, good for John"?
Right, I agree, but just human nature. People will get angry for whatever reason, and you can't make somebody else be. I mean, you just can't. If the old saying, if they don't want to go to the movies, you gotta let them not go to the movies. So, in other words, if they want to be angry, you gotta let them. And then if it's if it's ongoing and ongoing and ongoing, goodbye.
Well, you can be angry, but don't be aggressive towards
No.
other people,
And
or
there you have
put
it.
other people down, or
That's what I mean.
call them names.
Be angry,
Like,
be
people get
done with
angry
it.
and they go for the jugular, and that's what I don't like.
No.
Like, you can be angry, voice your opinion. That's one thing, but then you're like, well, you're a piece of shit. You're unintelligent. You're crap. Well,
Exactly.
what the hell? Really?
No.
You know what I mean? And that's what I don't like, the aggressiveness of especially the way things are today. Like, the
Agreed.
opposition, the right and the left wing have gotten to a point where it's ugly. It's ugly. It's just like, yeah,
all the time.
everything's
It's the Barella
so
logo all
ugly.
the time.
I mean, it's just constant.
Right?
Yes.
And I that's why I don't talk about politics on my face. I just don't do it. I don't do it because I know no matter what I say, somebody's going to say something and put me down. They're not going to say I disagree. They're going to say, "Hi, Tracy, I disagree." They say, "Tracy, you're an asshole. Tracy,
No,
you're
see.
unintelligent."
Right.
What?
I don't,
Or,
I
you know
don't
what?
need to agree with you
What?
chapter and verse, Frank. I don't need to agree with you
Right.
chapter and verse, Tracy, to still care about
Right.
you.
Right.
I don't. So okay. So you like.
There's things you post that I don't like. I still
Okay.
like you.
Of course.
I don't disrespect you.
Certainly
I
not.
don't go on your Facebook and say, "I disagree with this." What I say, I said, "We'll talk about it on the show."
Yeah.
Because I don't.
It's
I-
good show fodder.
It's good show fodder. But I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you're an idiot," or "You're stupid."
No.
But people do it all
No.
day
All the time.
long,
Well,
all
pe-
day
your-
long.
Your opinion is your opinion, whether they like it or not.
It's just an opinion.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
An opinion is largely perception, and perception, as we know, is reality. Whether it's your reality, my reality, your reality, whose ever reality, your opinion is your perception, and perception is reality. We're taking
it's-
calls,
it makes me
609-807-2492.
Call me.
I almost forgot to say the number. That's the right number, right, Gene? Yeah, 609-807.
Somebody call me.
2492. That's Jeff Gordon, Michael Strahan, for those of you in Sportsland.
I know Michael
Horrible.
Strahan.
You
I know. Do you know that I actually got nauseous at work today? Like, I
What?
physically vomited, and
Oh,
I'm going to tell you why.
Today?
Yeah, but not because I was sick.
Would
I'm
you have
gonna
a
tell
bad nut?
So do you know I'm an animal activist,
Of course.
psychotic. So this is my thing: children, seniors, animals.
Right.
If I see anything of an animal or a child or a senior getting abused, I seethe.
Not
I
freshmen,
mean,
sophomores, and juniors, ladies and gentlemen, just seniors. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
What?
So I seethe. Like, I literally get so angry. Speaking of anger,
Understood.
I get to a point where I'd almost like it pains me. I think like it's the empathy. I'm an empath because I literally will cry and sob if I see somebody getting abused, a child
I
or
hear you.
I feel about the helpless. This is how it is. So, stupid me. I joined this Facebook page. It was like something about people against, and it wasn't PETA. It was like against animal torture or animal, something like that.
Oh,
And
what did
why
you do?
I don't know, because it's just like because I do give money
of course.
to, and a lot of the things I'm against torturing of animals. I just think it's just horrific. And
No need for
and
it.
the Yulin Dog Festival, if you know anything about that, they boil and eat dogs
Oh.
alive and stuff like that. So it's heart wrenching, and I hate those people that, well, it's just that you do it to cows. No, it's a completely. First of all, these are domesticated animals. This is
Right.
not a farm animal
Correct.
where they,
And
this
cows
is.
are put down.
Yeah, it's not a domestic.
Humanely.
Yeah, they actually light them on fire while they're alive, and then they
Oh.
throw them in water, boiling water.
Right.
They do horrible things. So I don't want to see video. I know it exists. I already seen the video, and it actually makes me heave. So today I joined this stupid thing, and the first thing I see is the Yulin Dog Festival. So I take it out. I get rid of it, and I go, okay. And then I'm thinking to myself, why did I join this page?
Hello.
And sure enough, literally my phone was like this. I'm at my desk, and my phone was open, and it hadn't shut off. And I look, and there's a video of a man bashing a dog to death with a baseball bat.
Nope.
And
Nope.
the sight, it caught me. It was 2 seconds because I literally grabbed the phone. Like that, slow motion. It was like this.
No.
And I actually got to see I got to see contact with the dog's head, and the dog was still alive. It was horrible. And I literally threw up. That's how upsetting it was for me. So, of course, I got out of the page. I said, I can't do this.
That's
I can't
enough.
have it on there. I can't.
Yep.
It was horrific. But I don't get it. I don't friggin' get it. Because and to me, I'm sorry, and I've read enough John Saul books to know, if you can do that to an animal, I really think you can do it to human. I really think you have the ability to do it to human. And if you
I think it's possible.
if you read those books, a lot of those murderers, Jeffrey Dahmer,
That's
a
how
lot
they
of them,
start.
they start with torturing animals and they move on to humans. Because if you can have no empathy for an animal who's just looking up at you going, I can't do shit. Like, you know, kitties and little, you know what I mean? And you're like,
know.
I'm going to stab you. And you can go up to a kid and do the same thing.
Right.
And anybody who thinks you're an idiot if you think that's not true.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
No. I hear
And
you.
so, yeah, every time I saw that, and I literally was like, like, it made me sick to my stomach.
Well, and the
Sick.
problem is, there are causes that are worthwhile to combat, okay, and whatever they are for you may be different than for me and from everybody else. But the thing that gets me with stuff like that too is they make these things like a damn car wreck on the interstate where everybody has to stop and gawk.
Well,
They
that's the
feel they
thing. It's
have
on
to stop
video.
and
Somebody
Right.
videoed it.
Exactly.
Somebody videoed
It's
it.
a video car accident with
Dickhead.
fatalities that people have to stop and gawk about.
Right.
Okay, it's an accident on the turnpike. This isn't intentional. Don't
Right.
do the intentional crap like that.
Right.
Right. I
That's
mean, I
ridiculous.
saw, and it's not just animals, but I saw a video again, and this wasn't videoed. It was like an elevator, you know, a CCTV, you know, and it was,
Right.
and a babysitter was in an elevator with a small little baby. She went into the elevator closed, and she started beating the shit out of this
Oh.
tiny little baby, punching it in the head. It was on the video and everything like that. And again, another thing makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm like, you think like this person should be like killed? I'm convinced.
I have no issues with that.
I'm convinced, and I'm not all about. I am
There's
convinced.
no recovery.
If
from
you
that.
can take your fist into a little baby's head, and I see these a lot, you know, any
What are you watching?
it comes up on my goddamn Facebook page because you know why? Because I follow a lot of rights. Because I give a lot of money
Right.
to like things like that. I give to St. Jude's. I give.
Of
So
course.
the problem is that they latch on to me. So whenever
Uh-huh.
there's some sort of issue with animals or children, they're like, let's show Tracy. Let's put it on her feed because it picks up everything. And I see every goddamn abuse of an animal. And I'm telling you, I saw something. Speaking of my seniors, I saw a guy who robbed an old man. He was in his little cane and came and beat the shit out of an old man.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Ah.
Like this is the shit I'm talking. You telling me people who do stuff like that?
No.
Go bye.
No conscience.
Just take him
You got-
away.
yeah, gotta
Just
go.
take him away. Put him on. I don't want to see him again. I don't want to see him again because they will. They kill. Why do people not understand that?
I don't know.
Like I think
wish
if you
I had an
if
answer
you
because
can
I
beat
get
a
it.
baby with a closed fist in the face, to me that's just as much like murder to me.
Well-
Even if they didn't die, same thing.
I agree.
I went to elementary school with a kid, and I'm not going to give his name because it really doesn't matter. And I'm not going to give him any credence about what he did, and maybe he ended up as a decent guy. I don't know. I haven't seen him since 1976, and meaning this nicely as possible, man, I don't care. But he supposedly, and I heard it from more than one person after I went off to the damn prep school and they were in junior high, that he would bury animals up to here and then run the mower over them. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
This
He
guy,
kills people now.
This guy's
No,
gonna,
he kills people.
right.
Yeah, he
I
does.
said this guy's going to end up being a serial killer. This is
for
back.
sure.
This was back in the Son of Sam days, you
Ugh.
know. Okay, so it was all that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing was top of mind. Okay, I'm like what 7th grade and going into 8th grade, summer of '77, and here's old Brad blah, 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 doing his thing supposedly to whether it's one animal or another. I'm like, this guy's going to be a psychopathic, sociopathic
Yeah, he's in jail now.
criminal. I wouldn't
Look him
doubt
up.
it.
He's in jail.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Or he's got a freezer full somewhere.
Yeah.
One or the
basement,
other.
a basement full of chained up. Oh my God! Do you know that I saw? Speaking of, so Lifetime, and it's Lifetime. So Lifetime usually has like romantic, like love stories
no,
and
it's
Christmas
It's
stories
either
and
that
stuff.
or the man bashing network.
Lifetime?
Oh yeah.
Do they bash?
Oh
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Little
I don't
bit.
know. I don't really watch
Every
Lifetime.
story is about how it's revenge for a guy who cheated on her.
Are you thinking about Lifetime, or are you
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about
No, no.
Oxygen?
Lifetime.
Oxygen
Oh,
does that.
tomato.
Oh, well. Anyways, there's a movie on Lifetime, and it was called Girl in the Box.
Oh, what?
First of all,
A little bit
based on a
redundant.
true
Was
story.
Justin Timberlake in it?
No, not a dick, but a girl.
One. You
But
opened the box.
it was in the 70s. This girl was abducted, and by a couple, a married couple, and they tortured her and whatever. And she lived in a box. They made like a coffin type box and
Oh.
kept the box under the bed, and she lived in there. And they would let her come out to like clean the house, and then they'd beat her and abuse her, and then they'd put her back in the box. She lived in there for 8 years.
No.
Based on a true story. I said, I didn't believe it. I had to Google it. I said, no freaking way.
And
Sure enough,
oh,
true as true
where
can be.
was this?
This was in this. Oh, one of those probably east, like southern. Who knows? Not But they.
How
they
long ago
I
did
gotta
this
find this. Early 70s.
Wow.
Early 70s.
That is nuts.
But they locked her and they kept her in a box under the bed, a coffin side, and they would slide the box under the bed. She lived in it. And then they let her out when they wanted to do whatever they wanted. And they put her back in the box, and that's where she slept, in that box. And she ended up escaping. Here's the thing. So as the years went on, she grew like kind of a relationship with the wife. The wife started kind of liking her. And what happened was the wife and the husband ended up getting a divorce. So when they got a divorce, then she was left alone with the man. The wife came to the house when the guy wasn't there and let her out.
Oh.
And that's how she ended up getting out. She would have never got out.
Yeah.
She would have never got out.
Wow.
I want to look it up now. But it was so disturbing. I said, there is no
That is
freaking
nuts. That's
true
crazy.
story. And I looked it up and everything. And that woman's still alive.
Oh.
And lives a lives a life. And
wouldn't say
no,
normal.
well, whatever life. I'm going to look it up. Because
Wow,
it was
wow, wow.
so disturbing.
That is nuts.
And it was on Lifetime.
Oh.
And I was like, I thought I was going to watch a romantic Christmas story, but I didn't. It wasn't a romantic Christmas
No
story.
Christmas until after Santa Claus goes by the Macy's Day Parade. So it has been written, so it shall be done.
I love the Macy's Day Parade.
Well, there you go. See?
Do they still do the Macy's? They still do it, right?
Every-
I know they
every
try to stop. I know they try to stop
Oh,
things.
no, no, no.
They were trying to stop
Thanksgiving.
stuff.
No, no,
We can't do this anymore. I love it. I don't know.
BS, man.
No balloons are allowed in the city now.
Because there's too much.
They're
There's too much
oversized.
helium. It's going to affect the atmosphere.
The environment.
Over the city. No, shut up.
There it is.
Uh,
No,
found it?
1977.
oh.
1977.
Everybody was too involved with Son of Sam. They
Yeah, well,
probably
hello.
Yeah,
they
they probably didn't want to
forgot
pay
about it.
attention to. This is,
Back to Son of Sam again.
it was
Yeah, David.
22-year-old hitchhiker kidnapped by a young couple, and spends the next 7 years. What did I say? 18 years?
He
Eight.
said 8 years.
8 years. 7 years.
Okay,
No,
7, 8, yeah.
7 years being their slave.
Oh.
Yep. And they locked her in a box. So
Oh.
the movie's called Girl in the Box. And they literally, and then what they did is they actually showed like a documentary after the fact, and
With all the
talked to
real
her and all the
pictures
real,
and- yeah.
I'm
Wow,
telling you,
no
some
way.
effed up crap.
Oh, man.
Yeah, her name, yeah, Colleen Stan, her name was. Kidnapping of Colleen Stan. Yeah, it's crazy. In 1977.
In a world where crime
story.
was running rampant, one woman abducted by 2 adults along the highways on the USA. Now,
Oh, I didn't see what
Girl
state.
in
Now
a
you just
box.
now I want to see what the state was. That's what I
rated
want to see.
R, Restricted under
Uh,
17, not admitted without parent.
Where did this happen? Talk amongst yourselves while
Talk
I
am-
look. Eugene, Oregon.
Oh.
That explains it.
Yeah.
One woman in Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene, Oregon. There's a huge heroin problem in Eugene. Do you know that?
There's a lot,
Huge,
yeah.
huge.
It's everywhere.
Heroin, like what's up with it? Here too. But my point is this. This is,
Go ahead.
and I don't know. I'm not asking anybody about their childhood issues. I'm just saying. When did it become like the thought of putting a needle in my arm and shooting something inside my body? I don't understand it.
Unless I have to
I
do
mean,
it
it's one
to
thing to
save
s-
my life.
Yeah.
Not doing
Do
it.
you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing you smoke some weed. I'm gonna smoke and smoke some weed. I mean, like, whatever.
Right.
But I mean, to be like, sticking something in your body.
I couldn't
When
even
did
do
that-
it if it was a steroid and I was
But
trying to get
this
bigger.
is like so popular.
And sticking it in my ass.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
understand.
Never
it.
mind
I'm
trying
not
to find a
I don't like
vein
giving
and-
blood.
Every day, twice a day, I have got to give myself an insulin injection.
Well,
anymore,
that's- yeah, well,
okay,
yeah.
but it's an injection. I mean, the needle is this long.
Yeah, but that's for your
okay?
health.
I understand that, but
You wanna put
it's
heroin in it?
still, No, ooh, wah, as you would say. Okay.
wah.
the when it's all said and done, it's still a needle. It's got to go in me. And, some people could just, like people who we work with, Rob Winter, he has his little
Yeah, he has his-
diabetic thing and he just, done. I have to, and it doesn't hurt. It just is off-putting.
Yeah.
Think
You're
about
putting
doing that
something in your
in my
body.
arm or in my no.
Between your
Between your
toes, your
toes.
neck.
Nope.
Oh my god! But it is like, it's rampant.
Mm.
It's everywhere. I mean, this is like heroin is just taking
Well, it's like
over.
the 70s again. I mean, we talked about this last week
ridiculous.
to where, stuff like that and LSD was just so rampant back in the 70s. And it scared the crap out of me. Those films they used to make us watch in school. So I never did it. Well, now here we are again.
What did they make you watch in school?
Yeah, I watched them too.
The Don't Do Drugs movies.
Oh, those
the
yeah,
drug,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
like
don't
with
do
Laura
the
drugs.
Dern.
overdoses.
Yeah,
and
Laura-
what drugs do what to you.
Laura
Oh.
Dern was in one,
Yeah.
and she ran out of a 3-story window to her death. I mean,
Oh, my.
Oh yeah, and then and again the guy's looking at
Why
the
don't I remember
at
that?
the gas stove and thinks it's a flower, puts his hand on it, burns his hand, and sets his whole clothing on fire. Okay, I'm not doing that.
I don't
I'm
remember that.
sorry. I am not at Lawrenceburg School in East Brunswick, New Jersey.
Maybe I blocked it out.
in
I
the
don't
middle
think
in the
my
middle of the 70s. I'm gonna say
curriculum
about
included that.
1975, 74. Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not.
Oh, I might have been too young.
That doesn't look fun to me. That doesn't look fun to me, and I never did it. I have no. I am
No
not
desire.
compelled. No desire. I am
Never
not
once.
compelled. Have a party. Do your thing. I'm not. I mean, it just
No,
doesn't seem.
I saw that.
And I heard that too. And here's my son. He's looking when he's out of school here in another year and a half, 2 years. That's the general region of the country that he's thinking of going to, because if he wants to get in the cannabis business, not yo dude. No, he wants to get in the business, and there's
Like
a lot
that.
of
Well,
that.
there is a
There's a lot of that going out.
medicinal.
You can do it right here.
Well, about
Yeah,
to,
medicinal.
Oh, you still can. They got medical marijuana.
I
here.
understand
Yeah,
that,
they
but
do.
he's got it in his head, and he's just, and that's fine. I don't worry about him doing other things, but I just worry about maybe who the hell else is out there just doing wacky stuff and chance encounters, But he's not there. It's just, I'm a father. I worry. What are you going to do?
It's
You know?
No,
understandable.
it's understandable.
Yeah.
Did
He'll
anybody-
be fine. He's a strong-minded young fellow. He is. So I think he'll be fine. But just knowing that that whole area is kind of a hotbed, so to speak. That.
What area?
So I'm just looking to
Just-
see. Did any celebrities die last? Did we miss any
I'm
celebrity
aware.
deaths?
When?
I don't know. We always
I
trying to
don't
see if we
think
missed
so.
any celebrity deaths since
I don't think so.
Somebody died like a week or two ago. But
Well, of course, somebody died
well
today.
before.
Somebody died just now.
Well, not
We don't-
you know
Not a
somebody.
celebrity, John.
Oh, whoa.
Somebody that was rich and famous.
Right.
That's what I'm.
Robin Wright.
Oh, Robin. No, he died a while
He's
ago.
dead, and I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm trying to find. Nobody died.
Nothing big this
They
last
got
week
nobody
or
died?
so.
Five
Ah,
police officers were just shot in South Carolina.
That's not good.
That's horrible.
Oh.
Speaking
Just
of
giving
not
you
good,
breaking news.
I'm talking about. I guess it is. I mean, it is. But
Florence
I don't know.
County.
That if we want to talk about violence throughout the country, we can be here all day.
Here, let me give you a little violence here. Naturally occurring violence. Did you see that 500-mile-an-hour tsunami hit Indonesia the other day?
You know, it's
I
funny
did.
because
That's nuts.
I got the alert that there was an earthquake and a possible tsunami.
Yeah.
And then I dropped off the face of the earth for 24 hours.
In the tsunami.
And then I came back on and they're like, oh,
Heroin
1,200
binge.
people were killed by the tsunami and earthquake. And I'm like, I missed the whole thing. I had no idea. Like, I saw the warning and that was the last I heard about
But
it.
did you really miss it? You know what I mean?
Well, I did miss it. I wasn't there.
Hello,
so.
which is
I
nice.
don't know. I don't think anybody
I feel
died.
horrible for those people. I mean, how would you?
Did you
how do
see, did they have video? I haven't
Yeah.
seen any video.
Yeah, this humongous, like, I don't know, 20-story wave comes, wham, in like nobody's business, and nobody had a chance. And they're just all, oh, look on the beach, and that's a very big wave. Oh crap! And
Yeah, because normally
Goodbye.
when they have
Takes you out.
tsunamis, they're only a foot or two high. but it's the surge that just keeps
Correct.
coming.
Just keeps going.
Everybody
So-
got
And the
celebrity
other
death.
thing-
To
there
see
was-
a big one like that is
Well,
rare.
and the problem too was one of the indicators out in the ocean that they have, like
Right, they got
whether it's
the
a buoy or what have
sensors
you,
out there. Yep.
malfunction. So
Oh,
nobody
really?
got a heads up.
That's
it's coming.
horrible. They go
Yeah,
off all the time.
They do.
Hawaii does. Like when I was there 4 different times, and 2 of the 4 times I was there was a tsunami warning,
Wow.
and nothing happened. But just the point that it happens all the time.
Of course.
You just don't realize it because we're inland.
Can I just tell you that I'm so aggravated with Capital One, that credit card,
What's
those
in your
commercials.
wallet,
What's in
yeah.
those? They've been using, like, did you notice they have Prince's music, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston? It's pissing me off,
What?
man.
Why?
Enough. I don't want to see Prince "Let's Go Crazy" in a Capital One commercial. It's gratuitous. If you're gonna use music, popular
Catchy.
music, make it with that. You're
Hey,
completely
Don,
destroying.
I just found one of the angry people that we talked about.
See?
I don't like it. I
That's
don't like
horrible.
it. I
What do
don't
you
want to
want?
see. Listen.
That's what gets you
Listen,
upset.
What do you want, the
listen.
Henry
Let my
Mancini
people
Orchestra,
let my people rest in peace. I don't want them on a Capital
What
One
do you want, Henry
commercial.
Mancini, Baby
I don't
Elephant
want
Walk?
it.
What do you want?
I don't
What do you want?
want
The Pink
it.
Panthers theme?
I do not want Prince's music to be played during Capital One commercials.
Would you
Period.
we do Montavani or
That's
Percy Faith?
unrealistic.
Because
Percy Faith.
we don't
Percy
have any.
Faith.
There's no original music. There's no original themes. You can't make up a jingle. Can you I'll make up a jingle right now.
You wanna know
Capital
why?
One.
You wanna know
Capital
why?
One. There you go.
Because that song is making you talk about Capital
And
One
there
right
you
now.
have it.
And
You might as
it won't
well
make me
call
get
for a
Capital One.
sponsorship right
Leave
now.
my Prince alone. Don't be messing with my Prince. I don't like that.
They don't
No,
want their own
Prince is-
Where is it?
jingle.
Who has his
They
licensing?
want somebody's music that's gonna pull in
I
some
saw
revenue.
Prince, and then I saw Michael Jackson one. Then I saw Whitney Houston one. I said,
Do you know what
It's
they're
got
doing?
to
Do you know
end.
what they're doing now?
it's got to end.
Do you know what they're doing? Decomposing.
Aw.
I'm just saying they are. Thank you very much.
Oh, but the Queen,
the
it's coming out.
Queen?
It's coming out.
What?
The Queen, Freddie Mercury movie
Yes.
is coming out. Like
Cannot
next
wait
week.
for that.
Next
He's
week, right?
decomposing too, but
Mercury?
is it
Hmm?
next
Did
week?
you see who's playing Freddie Mercury?
Yes, and he's good.
But you know
He
what
looks
show
just
he's
like
from?
him
No. What?
He's on. I don't know if you guys ever saw this show.
on Netflix.
Yeah, it's not Netflix. It's
What?
on USA.
Oh,
Go ahead.
It's
it's
oh my
called.
God, now I
I know
can't
what it
remember
is.
the
I
name.
see his face.
There's
uh,
only an Isles.
Mr. Robot.
The Robot.
Mr.
Or
Robot.
Mr. Robot. That's
Mr.
it,
Robot. Right.
I watched the first season. It was good.
Yeah.
But it just got too crazy.
Weird.
Like it was too
Yeah.
in depth. Like
Yeah.
I had to concentrate too much to
Yeah, if I
follow
have
the
to
show.
concentrate,
That's
so
when I
much,
gotta
yeah.
cut it
In
loose.
other words, if they wanted you to watch that show, they'd say, "Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts." Thank you.
I just heard a bunch of doves cry.
Anyway. Oh, you know what I binge watched last week though? I'm just gonna ignore it because whatever.
This is what it sounds like. Just saying. Go
You
ahead.
know what I binge watched? Ray Donovan. Have you watched Ray Donovan?
I
seen
saw
every
that you were
season.
binge watching.
Oh,
I
That's a
watch
good show.
every season.
That show's awesome.
Liv
What
Schreiber, right?
season are you on? You watch the whole thing?
I'm on 3. I just started. I'm on 3. So
What's
is
it,
it 3?
5 now?
There's
6?
5 or 6. They're
Yeah.
starting the new season.
New season's
yeah.
coming soon.
Yeah.
They were just filming.
Damn, I like that show.
Wow.
And let me just
You're
say
only on
something.
season 3.
Go
You
ahead.
got some stuff to
Oh,
catch
I got
up
stuff
on.
to catch. Let me just say something too. Liev Schreiber, who I never found
Excellent.
attractive, never.
Oh, he's
I want
attractive
to. I
in
want to
that
f him
show?
now. I
Oh,
want to f
really?
him now. Oh my, he's just
Wow.
sexy as hell on that
Wow.
show.
Yeah.
And I don't know, boy, that show.
This calls for an FBI investigation.
Oh, it does.
I'm just saying.
I didn't actually f him. It's just a thought.
No. That's well, it's hearsay.
Schreiber's just been added to her list.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Woo.
that's right. The list.
Oh, he just no, but his character is so just my cool as
He
shit.
is.
Though
He
his
is.
wife don't annoys me. Every time he tries to have sex with her, she like interrupts the sex to say something that's bothering her.
Oh.
So
Well, That's
annoying.
probably because he's sleeping with everybody else besides his wife.
But
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 that's
when
a
he
whole
does
other
try to sleep
conversation.
with her, she's like, "So why did you tell her that? Or what happened there?" And he's like, "Man, I was just trying to get. Oh, you mooned." I don't know. She's annoying to me, but I love him. Oh, that show's good.
And Kate didn't whine so much last night on This Is
Kate
Us.
was not as whiny on This Is Us. She was a little less whiny.
I don't
'cause-
watch
Toby
whiny.
flipped his little wig there for a minute.
Yeah, because he's off his meds.
I understand that, but
Well,
he was
he's
right.
right.
He was right.
See the new show,
Million Little Things?
Little Things.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I'm gonna see that again tonight. That was
See,
something.
I
last
watched the
week.
first episode
I did
last
too.
night.
Was it
the second
good?
one's on tonight.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch. See, this is my
And
thing.
I DVR'd it. I watched it last night, and
What'd you think?
Is it
when
good?
when I tell you
Yeah.
the first episode just sucked me right in.
Is
Yeah.
it right after This Is
It
Us?
just came
What is it
right
on?
out.
It's
It came
Wednesday
right out
night,
the
10
gate,
o'clock.
fire and bullets.
Yeah.
Like,
10
it
o'clock.
was
It's on
like-
tonight.
Wednesday,
tonight's
10
second
o'clock,
episode.
ABC.
I
Should I watch
DVR'd it and I watched it last night.
See, I'm very hesitant to watch primetime shows. I'm an HBO, Showtime. I like to see dirty, filthy, swearing,
I get
violent
that.
sex.
And
I like
I
that.
have my share of
That's
that.
what I like. I like
watched
it.
the Ray
Walking
Donovans.
Dead. I like.
You know what's a good
dirty
one you'll like
shit.
if you like Ray
What?
Donovan?
Love Ray Donovan.
The one on
Scaring me.
not
I love
Movie
it.
Channel.
I don't like.
Stars.
This Is Us. You know why I watch This Is Us? Because of Randy Bennett. Randy, when we were
Really?
sitting, you, me, and Randy.
Yeah.
Randy would turn to me and go, "You seen This Is Us, girl?" And I'd be like, "No." He's like, "You better watch it." I'd be like, "Well, I don't watch a stupid show. It's romantic. I'm not into romance." No, it's really good, and that's how I started watching it. Because I don't like romantic.
I agree.
I don't like it.
I don't normally either,
Yeah.
but this one kind of.
So what are you telling me to
I-
watch?
I can't think of
A
the
million.
God damn it.
A Million Little Things
That A Million Little Things.
on
Yes,
10
that one.
o'clock.
Ray
ABC.
Donovan.
Just watch the first episode, and if you like it after that,
I don't know.
if you don't, that's
I'm,
fine.
I'm thinking about Ray
But
Donovan right now.
Listen, usually they save.
Damn.
Usually they save all the twists and turns for like third or fourth
Love Ray Donovan.
episode. It came right out with
Oh yeah.
You know.
twists and turns.
Oh,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
and can I tell you too? Remember I told you that like my hall pass was Jay Hernandez, who's the new Magnum PI, right?
Uh-huh.
So I watched it just because, and I'm not into remake. I'm not
Right,
into
right.
it. I don't like primetime shows.
What'd you
I'm
think?
gonna watch it for him. It sucked.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
It
didn't even watch
sucked.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't
And I
watch it.
love
I don't
him.
wanna know.
I
don't
love
wanna
Jay
know how bad
Hernandez.
it
He's
is.
a sexy MF. But let me tell you something. That
Couldn't do
show
it.
sucks.
I couldn't do it.
The acting sucks, and the girl who plays like opposite him, like she's the worst haircut ever, and it's just horrible. And I can't.
See, on the contrary, the one that I don't mind and I haven't seen it in a while, but that I don't mind and have watched is the reboot of Hawaii 5-0.
Well, they
I-
say that's
I-
good. They
I
say
watched
that's
that.
good.
It's good.
They say it's good.
It
Yeah.
is good.
That's one of the few that
it's
actually.
completely different than the original,
Right.
but it's good.
Same
If they
general
spin it-
premise.
I like that they have characters from the original in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
If they spin it, see, you have to have good writers. You have good writers, you can make something of it. You
And
can
here-
take a remake and make it
and
better.
speaking of the original Hawaii 5-0, here's my problem with one of the characters. How come? And maybe it's a cultural thing, but Cam Fung as Chin Ho.
Right.
What?
Right.
What the
Why
hell's
did they
the
change the name?
difference?
Can it be
Just
Bob
use his
Smith?
real name.
You know what? What you open the
Why does he have to have an Asian name? Maybe he's just
what do they
Asian.
they open the cupboard of like pots and pans and Cam Fung, you know, when it all we name him Cam Fung, that noise it make. Okay, is that how it works? I don't know. We're taking calls.
I don't know. I don't
Cam
know about
Fung
that.
as Chin Ho. Really?
Yeah, it's
Couldn't you
kinda
just
silly.
leave him Cam Fung? I mean,
I know.
seriously?
And you know the people on set don't remember his name. They probably like switch his name like all the time, and they have to like a blooper. They have to like, take 3.
Well, that was
Stop
the-
saying take 4.
That was the original one. I don't remember the guy who plays Chin Ho in the new one. He's
What's his real name?
I don't remember, but he's good. He's
Yeah, he's
very
good.
good. And the whole cast is really
Oh,
pretty
yeah, I
good.
heard that's
gotta
pretty
say.
good.
Scott Kahn, James Caan's one son.
Yeah.
He's in
He's
it.
good. I've seen him in
He's,
other stuff. He's good
yeah,
actually.
He's Dano.
Yeah.
The guy who plays
Yeah.
McGarrett is real good too.
Yep.
It works. Some people are like, oh my god, I can't watch it because isn't there anything original? I agree. Isn't there anything original? But this one
If
they
it's a
did.
good I could do it if it's good. If it's
Right.
well written, like you said.
Right.
That actually has
Yeah,
gotten a lot of
that's
good
good.
reviews. That's good.
And the thing that drew me in wasn't the show. It was the promo teasers before they redid it a couple of years ago. I'm like, you know what? I may have to watch that.
Give it a shot.
And I got in there, and it's like, okay, this is good. Conversely, the one for the new Magnum PI, I saw the teaser for that. I'm
No.
like,
I can't.
yeah,
It looked like you know what it
No.
looked like? Like when you
I
see like
cannot.
a B movie commercial,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Oh, I can't.
Attack of the Killer
Right.
Tomatoes.
Exactly.
This is so bad.
but I gotta
can't.
tell you,
I'm
that
not watching the Killer Tomatoes.
I'm starting to fade on the new Hawaii 5-0.
Is that right?
Well,
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
a
like its
little bit- I'm
third or
fading
fourth
at the end of
season. It's
last
been on for a
season
while,
and-
right?
Well, it's been a few years.
This
This is
year
what,
was
fourth
so
or fifth season.
I only seen the one episode so far, but it just
It lost you.
It didn't pull me in.
Did it jump the shark? You think already?
I
Oh,
feel
man,
like
jump the
it's,
shark.
if it didn't, it's going up the ramp.
I
Jump the shark. Quick. What's the reference from?
The
Happy Days, Fonzie.
Hey.
That's my kind of people right here. You know that. Because if you didn't, I'd tell
Now
you to
you know
leave.
that.
I'd tell you to leave.
The other one I kind of dig too is it's another Friday one is Blue Bloods, but I haven't
Oh, I
watched it in
can't.
a while.
I can't.
Well, because of
I
what's his
can't.
name, right?
Because of Donnie. I
Donnie
can't.
Wahlback.
I can't. I can't.
See, I don't. I
No.
can't stand losing. I can't stand losing.
I can't. I can't.
Sorry.
I can't watch Donnie. So I
See,
can't watch Donnie
well,
in that. Yeah.
There's some histoire from the
Correct.
Massachusetts days.
Correct.
So you get a pass on that, of course.
Yeah. So.
I
Objectively
thought
now.
of the name. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna interrupt.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
What's his name?
Hurry up.
Banshee. Banshee.
Banshee.
Yeah.
From.
Look up Banshee. That's the name of the show that I was trying to think.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Sorry.
the guy from Hawaii Five-O.
That's what I thought you did.
No, sorry.
Too
His
many
name is
topics.
Banshee.
Squirrel.
If you
Banshee?
like
That's
that
the name of the show?
dirty Banshee, well,
All right.
it's
Which
got
channel?
blood, guts, and sex.
What channel?
It's either Cinemax or it's one of those.
Oh,
It's a
Skinamax?
series.
Well, Skinamax.
It's a series.
is dirty, filthy anyway.
It's got
Who's the victim?
who's the girl that played the original
First word sounds like.
I can't think of the damn movie with all the zombies and she was killing everybody. She
Walking
was-
Dead.
Mila
Mila Kunis?
No, not
Oh.
Mila Kunis.
Mila
Go wait.
Mila Jovovich.
Yes, her.
Mila
She's one of-
Jovovich.
She's one of the stars.
She was in The Fifth Element. She played Lilu.
Yes, her.
Yes.
She's one of the stars of that show.
Ah, Mila.
We've got
She-
lots
yeah.
to watch.
and
we
she
got
gets
lots.
naked a lot.
She gets naked a lot.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if okay.
We've got lots to
Is
watch.
she like 40 now? She's like 40, isn't she? She's
I have
up
no
there.
idea.
Is what?
Mila. She's older now though, isn't she?
She's probably in her 40s.
Yeah. But she still looks hot.
No,
Some
she
people
looked
can
good.
carry it.
40
Some people
schmorty.
can't.
She's a
Listen.
badass in that show.
Ah.
Banshee.
All right, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
See,
Banshee.
I thought it was a guy, kind of like you know.
No.
People like who's this Benghazi guy? I don't get it.
Oh, Banshee.
Okay.
Banshee.
We're getting the high sign, kids. It's almost time to wrap it up like a present. That hour went fast.
Please
We
don't
didn't
go,
even talk about the Jonestown special.
Whoa,
What?
whoa.
Sorry, I was singing. What?
Jonestown
New
special.
Kids.
We didn't even get to it.
I didn't. You know what? I missed it.
What?
I missed it.
I watched it today.
Oh, you DVR'd it? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Make a note.
I'm gonna
write
watch
it
it.
down. Next week.
And I had it
the
in my
Jonestown special.
I didn't watch it yet. So, is it good?
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna watch it next week. We're gonna talk about it next
The
week.
show is narrated by his son.
Wow.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
watch
gonna
it.
tell you that.
I'm gonna watch
And
it.
there's more than one.
Oh snap!
Word
Oh snap!
and yo. Not
All right.
necessarily in that order. That's it, kids. We got lots to do between now and next time we come back.
Can't.
Lots
I
to
can't-
check. I can't stand losing.
I can't.
When
can't
doves
stand
cry.
losing you.
When doves cry.
This is what it sounds like.
like.
Dig,
Alright.
if you will, a picture.
All right, we gotta go.
Okay, no, that's it.
I am not kissing you.
No, I don't want that.
Okay,
No,
just
she's-
checking.
But no. 6:33. We'll catch you next time. Next week, 5:30-ish.
I love
Tracy,
you.
John,
I keep
and our
looking over
good friend
there, but
Frank,
I'm really supposed
because
to look over here.
right over there.
I don't know why I look over there.
It's Real Town. We'll
look
see you
over
next time.
Bye.
Peace. We out of here.